Hey guys, this is Hell Hades. This is another Raid Shadow Legends video. Guys, we're back on the test server. I'm going to show you another one of the new epics that you can get from this fusion if you're not going for big boy Hurndig. Now, personally, this is my favourite of the four epics. I know you guys all wanted to see the hippo first. Fine, I did it. I did it yesterday. But this guy, I think, is going to actually be the most useful epic to anybody who's just kind of randomly playing the game. Anyone who's just trying to pick up a champion that's going to help them through raid. This dude, Mr. Siegehulk. Damn, he's big. He's so big he barely fits on the screen. I think he's going to have more, just more references that you could play him in, more content that you could put him into, and he'll just slot right in. I don't think we've ever had another epic champion available like this for a fusion with a AoE drop defense, 100% chance to land, 3-turn cooldown. I don't think we've ever had another one in a fusion. I could be wrong. I'm often wrong, but I don't think we have. And that is, firstly, AoE drop defense. It's the best skill in the game, without question for me. It's the #1 skill I look for in almost all content. So if you're looking to build an arena team, #1 skill. If you're looking to build a dungeon team, #1 on the list. Looking to build a Doom Tower team, #1 on the list. Looking to build Faction Wars, #1 on the list. And it goes on and on. So to have someone just available to us like Siegehulk, damn, it's big. It's a big, big thing. Now let's just have a quick look at him. I do wonder what's behind the mask. Looking at this dude. He's green. What is going to be behind that mask?
I am a god, you dull creature, and I will not be bullied by that.
Anyway, let's get into what's going on. So let's check his skills out first. A1. Attacks one enemy. Decreases the target's turn meter by 15% if they're under drop defense or drop speed. That's a great A1. Turn meter drop. You know what? The more I look at this guy's kit, the more I love it. I just love his kit. Turn meter drop is half an Armiger. Turn meter drop. And Armiger's best it in class. So considering he's doing other stuff, this is nice. It's situational, but the situational is kind of easy to implement. So I do like this A1. A2 puts increased attack on himself. I misread it when I was looking at this the other day. I thought it was on the team. Puts increased attack on himself. Then he smacks all the enemies. If you book him, and I definitely would book this champion, I think he's worth books, 100% chance of placing drop defense on all enemies for 2 turns. Love it. This is a great skill. And in the A3 as well, he's got buffs crit rate and crit damage on this champion for 2 turns. Then he attacks someone. 100% if you book him, chance of placing decreased speed on the target for 2 turns. Love it. So decreased speed on a single target hit means it's great for boss fights, things like Spider, great for Fire Knight, great for Ice Golem. Fire Knight's probably the least of those because he doesn't have any multi-hitters. But if you bring in multi-hitters with him, then this is nice. Decreased speed here is cool. Most of the Doom Tower bosses as well, you'd like that decreased speed. People like Scarab Boss, people like Agref, albeit with Agref, you might take some aggro from doing the AoE drop defense. I don't know if he's going to do that on auto or not. But near enough all bosses except dragons and clan bosses, decreased speed is going to be massive for. So this is a great buff. This is an insane move. And then this is cool when you complement it with the other two. So all in all, as I said earlier on, my favourite of the champions that are going to be released. Got a crit rate in Doom Tower by 24%. That's massive, by the way. 24% means that you could build your team with way less. So if you're putting him in with a Seer, for example, Seer would only need to be at 76% crit rate. It's huge. It makes you able to build your other champions way stronger if you decided to go with this. This is actually a massive, massive buff. I've actually built mine out with 100% crit rate. But just thinking about it, I mean, you could easily just assume that this is going to come on when it does. So it's on a 3-turn cooldown, goes on for 2 turns. So you can get yourself increased crit rate for the majority of the fight and bring his crit rate down even more. So you could have him running at 70 plus his aura 50. So for Doomtail, you could have him running at 46% crit rate, and the majority of the fight he'd still be at 100% if you put him as the lead and he buffed himself. It's kind of nuts. It means that you could pump his damage up or pump his defensive stats up. So pretty cool. Look, in terms of builds here, I've done him as a... I've tried to build him in more regular gear because that was the feedback I got from my last video. Stop putting people in crazy gear. We don't have it. Fine. I've gone for more regular gear. Crit rate gloves, HP chest, speedy boots. And then we just tried to fill some crit rate and speed and accuracy in the other pieces. We've got an accuracy banner to get his accuracy up. He needs accuracy to land everything in his kit. So if you don't have accuracy, it's a waste of time. And I've done crit damage on the amulet. I do have a quick clip here I'm going to show you of him in a more sexy build with Savage gear. And you can see what sort of numbers he's going to hit for from this clip. So actually, I didn't need to bring Arbiter in particularly, but 160k damage on his drop defense move. It's pretty strong. It's pretty strong. For a drop defense champion, that is a hard hit as well. So difficult to know what you want to do with this fusion. 114k A3. What do you want to do on this fusion? Do you want this dwarf who's big as well? I mean, you could literally throw him in as your drop defense. Look at that. 180k. So you can see his multipliers are good. For a decreased defense champion, it does mean that if you want him to be smacking, you either rely on him buffing himself or you need to have a lot of stats. Accuracy, speed, crit rate, crit damage, attack. Like 5 stats before you even think about trying to keep him alive. And his biggest weakness, the one thing I dislike about his kit, is his base defense is super low. So you might end up putting jewelry items on him which are more defense focused. So you get a nice amount of flat defense to go into his build because actually his defense numbers are low. In terms of masteries, what have I done? I put Helm Smasher on him because I think he's a damage dealer and I don't think he's going to be running in Clan Boss. So because of that, he's a damage dealer that puts debuffs out there. So I've done Accuracy Tree with Helm Smasher as my main one, and then everything here is about doing more damage. Okay, let's get him out there. Let's see what he can do. I guess we just start running through some dungeons. So I think Ice Golem's probably going to be one of his best spots. If we're going anything less than 25, I think he just slots straight in nicely. This type of team. So defensive unit, resurrection champ. You know, could even, if you've got Visix, put Visix in here and have yourself a nice kind of foray of support with a damage dealer. And the damage dealer just happens to also drop defense. That's the way I see him. He's a damage dealer that also drops defense. So you want him to go first if possible because the decreased defense is something that you want to get out there before the rest of your team start nailing in damage. But you can see, actually I want to show you his animations. Let me slow him down. His animations are basically coming out of that crossbow. Let's see the way it's lit up here. It's actually super cool. Really like this. He's massive as well. Look how big this dude is. So he sort of fires the bolts out. See that from the top? Very cool. And we get onto here. Let's slow him down again. AoE drop defense is kind of like fire from the skies. I really like his kit. I like his kit, and I think he's actually got cool animations as well. As I say, this is my favourite. There's his A2 there, 89k. Even in this build was not super strong. You could build him way stronger than this. 47k A1 in this build. Very nice. And that's without all of the juicy extra debuffs that you can get out there. We drop defense straight away. So he opens with his drop defense, not his decreased speed. We do have a decreased speed out there. Must have been from Seal, I guess. Didn't see. Or maybe Visix, actually. We've got lots of options here. Phoenix needs to be the one who kills people. So we get block revives. Not killing people there. He might not even be built right. And obviously you can see like the value he's bringing at this point then Firstly, he's dropping defense of the enemy, which is great. He's keeping an attack buff on himself almost the whole time, which is also great. But then when we get to this point, we should start to see drop speed. It got resisted, actually. It's pretty unlucky, but drop speed on the boss. And then if he was A1, then he'd be dropping turn meter of the boss. So there's nothing about his kit which isn't great for boss fights. Literally, it's just brilliant for boss fights. Bam. Another kind of like big old smack. 50 odd K. Phoenix has just done his job, which means that this fight becomes infinitely easier. One of the ads is block revived. And we've got 115k hit in there. Second ad block revive is a cakewalk. So you can see at this point it's going to be easy. I'll let this run through and then we'll move on to something else. Okay, so run over. 3 minute 40. It's not meant to be a quick team, but 1.7 million damage. No one else coming anywhere close. I wonder if Phoenix is not built. Doesn't really matter. Yeah, so where else could he be good then? Dragon, he's not going to do any of his decreased speed, any of his turn meter drop, but he's still got an AoE drop defense. Still going to be helpful to get you through waves. Fire Knight's similar, really. He will do his drop speed on the boss. He will do his drop defense on the boss. But he doesn't have multi-hits to get you through that shield, so you're going to need to bring multi-hit champions with him. Spider, though, I think he does some good work here. So he is a strong affinity for Spider 20, which is where a lot of people are going to be working their way towards. And basically, he's going to be bringing your drop defense. He's going to be bringing decreased speed just on the main boss. And he's also going to drop defense of all of the spiderlings. So, depends what sort of comp you're running, whether you want that or not. So, if you've got a choice between this dude and, say, Stag Knight bringing drop attack as well, you would take Stag Knight, to be honest. If you've got a choice between him and Tyrell, you'd probably take Tyrell because Tyrell's also done a drop turn meter, but then so's he. Don't know, maybe it's pretty even. If I had a choice of, maybe Stag Knight's the one that I would put above him here. But dropping defense of the spiderlings, if you're just trying to blow spiderlings up, over and over again whilst you're killing the boss, then I think he does well. If you're trying to do something like an HP burn strat, you would take his damage out and probably wouldn't run him. So he can be strong here, though. Can be useful. Certainly if you're newer to the game, if you're trying to blow your way through Spider 15, he would be awesome because you want damage. You want AoE damage, and he does a lot. And he would be good in any of the keeps and minnow and that type of stuff as well. Let's show him in Faction Wars then. Ogrin Tribes. Ogrin Tribes, in fact, let me just show you the index before I do. Ogrin Tribes, in terms of AoE drop defense, no legendaries. We've got Udo, who's actually super awesome. That's it. And there's nobody down here. You've got a weak source one in Bellower. So he does become a super cool option for this Faction War team. And drop defense, as I say, it's like first on the team sheet for me for Faction Wars. So if you don't have Udo already in play, he could be super awesome for you for Ogrin Tribes. Let me just make sure my champions are built. Okay, so we're going on for level 21, hardest stage out there. We're using Shatterbones in here as well, just to show how awesome he is. I've changed his AI so that he does his A2 first. We've got drop defense. We've got protection in terms of healing and stuff like that. We've got turn meter control and damage. We've got stun set on Dialcut and damage. And then we've got a revive champ. So let's see how we get on. So having that drop defense just makes all of our damage dealers do their work much better. He hits hard anyway. He's hitting hard considering the gear I've got him in. Like if I had him in my gear that I showed him in that clip earlier on, he probably would have just decimated that whole wave. That's how hard he's hitting here. So someone said to me, can I build him as my arena nuker? Honestly, you could. But because he's a drop defense champion, I don't think that's what you do. I don't think that you want to be building him as your actual nuker. You want him as a hard-hitting drop defense champion that then goes into more like a standard nuker. So we're taking a bit of damage here. See that drop turn meter there from Shatterbones? He does not care about these fellas. Turn meter's right down. I wish they were aiming for Paragon. Now Paragon's doing all his silly old business. But you can see the work that's going in. And then it's just a case of, can we let this person actually take a turn? But Paragon's put the cheese out. And we're dropping decreased speed on her as well. Good job, Plarium. I feel like if there's one champion alive and they're getting back, and let's say they get hit 50 times, they should just die. I feel like that's what they should do. This is going to work. I'm just going to take it off auto for a second because I don't want it to just keep being never ending. Doesn't look good for the video. He's going to drop some turn meter, and they got a weak hit. Come on, wake up. Wake up, let me continue. Yes. And then also on the boss then. So this is quite a nasty boss. And we've got a lot of damage that comes on us. I've got a resurrect champion who's level 50 here, so it's not like he's got a ton of stuff. He's got no masteries on. But he's just there to try and help us if we do take a bit of damage. Every time we're hitting him, we've got a chance to burn, which is nasty as well. Bam, we're taking some hits. But, you know, that drop defense, the chance to get decreased speed out there is nice as well. The drop turn meter is nice as well. And we should be fairly comfortable. We are going to take hits. We are going to take damage. Brush is in there really to try and give us a bit of healing. Same with, what's his name? Gear Grinder is there to try and just make sure we stay alive. Decreased turn meter A1. Nice for this boss as well. So a bit of turn meter control as well as the other buffs we've got going on. We do have True Fear on us. Didn't proc. That's nice. Galcut's trying to get in there with some bomb action. We are taking a fair chunk of damage here. But considering we don't have, like, you know, true healing. Bam. Drop turn meter A1. That's nice again. We've got the decreased speed out there. He just brings so much to this fight. So much. We're taking some hits. Not anything too major. And it looks like... Okay, I had to stop the auto for the silliness in the second wave. But it looks like this team's a straightforward auto team on the boss. Siegehulk doing 854k damage. Easily the most damage. Even though I've got Galcut in there with a strong build. Grush is in there with a strong build. So Siegehulk is the real deal in terms of damage. Definitely going to help people with that faction war. So dungeon's cool, faction war cool. You know, in the arena, he can be your drop defense champion. He could be your nuke, but I think it's probably not his spot. He's so squishy. If you do miss a turn, you're going to die. You'd have to speed tune him so that he kind of fills this role here. So we can do that. You go speed into speed. I'd need him to be faster than he is right now. We're probably going to get cut in here, I would imagine. But he could be your drop defense here, who also does some damage. And then maybe you had someone in as a cleanup act as your kind of final damage dealer. Yeah, maybe it's your KO or whatever, but someone that could come in and just finish the job as your kind of final setup. So we are way quicker here, so it should just be easy. This might even be a bot team. Those bot teams are in the test server. You see how much work we've already done here, which leaves quite an easy cleanup just for the final hit, as long as Mountain King doesn't get a go. And he decimates the whole team. So yeah, look, could he be in arena? Yeah, of course he could, but it's just definitely not going to be his best position to fight. But it does hit hard, so I mean, maybe he is. Maybe he's just straight up quality anywhere, to be honest. And then, you know, Clan Boss, I don't think so. Doom Tower, yeah, of course. He could come in as a wave champion. He could come in against some of the bosses where you want that decreased speed and you want that decreased defense. I think the best spot, honestly, for him would be to come in and do some work on waves. So coming into, you know, this sort of team here where you've already got some control going on, and to make sure that you can lay the smack on these champions. As I say as well, good setup if you're running something like a Seer comp and you just don't have enough power to blast your way through. So bam, just absolute smack with his drop defense, sets everyone else up for damage. And then when there's this decreased speed on there, his A1's going to drop turn meter back. So there's just so much going for him in his kit. Cycles round really quick to his A2 again, because it's only on a 3-turn cooldown. So as long as you've got a bit of control, you're going to get that drop defense out really quick. Hopefully before these guys even get a go, but it might be one turn and then we get back on. Looks like it will be. There it is, though. Bam. Drop defenses out there again. And you're kind of slamming your way through the wave. So, honestly, I think he's actually the crown jewel of this fusion. Not the Hippo. I think this guy's better for just about anyone playing the game. Certainly someone who's building their way up through the game. I think he is a straightforward, yes, I want him. He's actually similar to Hurndig in terms of his kit. It's kind of similar, slight watered down version, but yeah, if you cannot get Hurndig, I would say absolutely try as hard as you can to get yourself at least one set of rares, maybe 2 sets, get the Hippo and you get this guy. So there you go, guys. Siegehulk, my favourite of the epics. Hope you enjoyed the video. I've been Hell Hades. I will see you later.